Okay, we're ready? Clear the airways, please.
This is Silverstone, the home of the classic 2CV Racing Club season openers. Rounds 1 and 2 will be fought hard on the fast and flowing track that has been home to many historic moments. To beat the grid to the line, first you have to beat the track.
It's qualifying day here at Silverstone and the 2CVs are raring to go.
There was an incident in qualifying. Tête Rouge are an established team. They have 3 very strong drivers, very good car prep. Everyone knows what they're doing. A well-oiled machine. And Podium Motorworks are a new team. The new kids on the block. Here to try and prove a point. Now, qualifying is important, of course, but if you don't get a lap in, or laps in, you won't be at the front. So an element of wisdom is always required. And unfortunately, in qualifying, there was a coming together between the 92 car of Tête Rouge and the 13 car of Podium Motorworks. Without placing blame, yes, Brian hit the brakes a little more than necessary, and maybe Seb wasn't expecting it. But at the end of the day, yes, he could have done more to avoid a collision. Turn 6 is very nearly flat out when you're driving on your own, with no tow. And Seb had done the first half of qualifying on his own, and then dropped back to the pack behind him of Nick Crispin, Chris Tovey and Brian Heary to get a tow for a quicker lap.
Check the front. Take the front.
It's important to know that at a track like Silverstone, you could be as much as 2 seconds off the pace without a tow. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But just a lap after joining the group, the incident happened and Seb was not particularly happy about it. I think in hindsight, even Seb would admit that this was a blunder. His front wing was completely ripped off and left on the outside of turn 6, and he did not continue in qualifying, leaving the pack that he was with to take first, second and third on the grid. Tovey took a commanding pole with Nick Crispin in second and the 92 of Brian Heary in third. On top of this, the second Tête Rouge car of Andrew Bull took P4, and Seb's lonely lap was only good enough for 5th, some 2.5 seconds off of the pole pace of Chris Tovey. To add salt to the wound, running without a front wing could get him in trouble if he can't get it sorted for the second qualifying session, and with just 5 minutes between qualifying sessions, this was unlikely.
Right, but it's almost time to go racing for the classic 2CV Racing Club, and I absolutely love these cars. Now I'm here with Matthew and Richard Hollis. Now, chaps, you guys are sharing the car today, so how do you decide who goes first?
Matthew's paid the money up front and I owe him, so he goes first.
You get to go first.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to take it in turns, so sometimes I let Richard go first, so yeah, there's no squabbling.
Does that add a little bit more pressure than being first now?
Yes. Yeah, I suppose so. I don't really want to break it, but yeah, it's always, yeah, we just try and take it easy and you know, make sure that the other one gets a race.
Now look, I'm looking at the car here. We've got 2006 team champions, 2007 race winners. How long have you guys been involved with the 2CV Racing Club?
Since 2001 is when we first bought the car, and we were pretty good when we were younger, but we've just got to get better again. I don't know where the form's gone.
The 15-minute sprint race. How fast do you get going in one of these around here?
I think with the wind in the right direction, you could probably get up to about 90.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting, you wouldn't think necessarily that this circuit is great for 2CV racing, but actually it produces really good racing because of the slipstreaming effect, and most of the corners we're pretty much sort of full throttle, right on the edge sort of thing, so it's good fun.
What do you love most about these 2CVs?
Just the fact how close you can race with the other guys. So you might be 3 abreast into a corner and you'll go through 3 abreast. So it's just, you could be 8th on the last lap and you can win. So it's all to play for. And we're going to win today, maybe.
It's all to play for. They're going to win. It's time to go racing. Classic 2CV Racing Club. Let's go, lads. Come on.
Well, it is almost time to go with our first Classic 2CV Racing Championship race of the day. Qualifying took place earlier this morning, and in pole position for race 1, former champion Chris Tovey in the SL racing car, not his regular car, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on today. Alongside him, another former champion, number 89, Nick Crispin in the P2W Motorsports car. Second row, 92, Brian Heary, and 76 of Andrew Bull. Then on row 3, Seb Jones-White, number 13, and 55, Julie Walford. Her husband Steve will be driving that car in race 2 later on, because sometimes you get 2 drivers share a car. Rob Dawson, number 20, starts alongside the 79 of Sam Archer on row 4. Then Ethan Sparrow, of course, the Sparrow name very famous in 2CV racing, on row 5 alongside number 42, Martin Sunderland. On the 6th row, we have Matthew Arrowsmith-Brown. That's the Team ECAS 2CV parts car, alongside 40 Chris Yates for Muffin Motorsport. More on them a bit later. 81 Simon Turner alongside 72 Matthew Hollis, who we just heard from. Colin Etchells, number 67, alongside 44 John Widowson. And Martin Ryman hopefully is there. His car broke down in qualifying and didn't set a time, so hopefully the Classic 41 factory racing car is there. Should be a pretty open 15-minute race for the Classic 2CV Racing Club, their first race of the season. Green flag is displayed at the back of the grid. It'll be a standing start this time, unlike the rolling start for Brick Car and Supercarts. And this should be a rather slower paced race, but as we say, by no means any less entertaining. A lot of slipstreaming we will see here. We get underway then, the 2CV racing season is go. And off they go down towards Abbey for the first time. Nick Crispin in the number 89 gets away well from second on the grid, the inside the front row, pole position on the outside here at Silverstone. It looks like it is going to be Crispin who's just got the nose in front as they head through Abbey for the first time. Side by side with Chris Tovey. Brian Heary, it looks like, has just edged third place over Andrew Bull, and Seb Jones-White, the white car with the gold stripes, in 5th position. Look at Andrew Bull up the inside as they go into the right-hand Victor. It is Chris Tovey who leads out of Chapel onto the Hanger Straight. Now the slipstreaming is going to start. Nick Crispin's on the grass. Bit of ploughing there. Well, the design brief of the 2CV was that it could drive across a ploughed field.
The opening race was incredible to watch. Watching the leaders battle it out with claws was breathtaking. You had Nick Crispin, ruthless on track. With Nick, if you leave even the slightest opportunity, he will take it and you will come out with your tail between your legs. Somewhat of an Alonso. Seb is ridiculously quick, but occasionally a little too eager. He will often pull out blinding moves that would put Plato to shame, but he won't stop to think about it, and so, like Plato, often risks solid points for a chance to win in the moment. Andrew Bull is what you get if you mix Mick and Seb together. A relatively balanced mix of aggression and speed, though can let his emotions get the better of him off track. His style and emotional content often has me wondering if his second name is really Verstappen. Chris Tovey is a flawless driver and has both outright pace and an incredible ability to study the race and get things right first time. An obvious frost. Brian Heery is fast. Though prone to mistakes and overdriving, if he fancies it, he will walk all over the entire grid. James Hunt, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, it's contact there, Ethan Sparrow. Notoriously robust little machines, the 2CVs. Meanwhile, Seb Jones-White has taken the lead and Chris Tovey's been shuffled back to 4th place. They're going to try it. They're going to try it. Look at this. Into club corner. Nick Crispin's gone round the outside of both of them. That's brilliant. Show me another car you can do that in. Round the outside of 2 cars into the club complex. And he's taken the lead from Seb Jones-White. Here he down to 3rd. And Chris Tovey's down to 4th, down to 5th position behind Andrew Bull now. This is fantastic.
So here's the thing. In 2CV racing, positioning is key. You will spend the whole race scrapping just to make sure you're in the right place come the closing stages. Now, out of all the teams, one stands out as having not one, but 2 drivers that are absolutely flawless when it comes to being in the right place at the right time. Andrew Bull and Brian Heery. At Silverstone, Tete Rouge were unstoppable.
Brian Heery back to the inside. Chris Tovey trying to keep up. Of course, not in his own car, so may not be used to the SL racing machine, but he's going to have a go at the inside of everybody here into Village. That's brave. Now Nick Crispin is going to have a go for the lead down into the right-hander at Stowe. In the P2W Motorsport.
The close racing isn't just at the front. As always, the midfield fights are just as electric as any other. In race 1, it was a nail-biting battle for P8. Sam Archer, Simon Turner, Matthew Arrowsmith-Brown, Martin Sunderland, Matthew Hollis and Robert Dawson all going at it for that P8 spot. Sam Archer, being the only rookie on the grid in 2025, obviously had a point to prove. Simon Turner is always up for an old-fashioned dogfight, and Arrowsmith-Brown in the ECAS car was ready to make a mark as well. Then you had Matthew Hollis, who is a race winner and when the car is with him, is a serious contender at the front. Sunderland is still learning, but has acquired a race-winning car from the old Bacon Racing team, and so has the machinery to make steps towards the front of the grid. And then there's Robert Dawson in the second Podium Motorworks car. To put things into perspective on this one, his car was nothing but a shell on a chassis just 2 weeks prior to Silverstone. No one expected the car to be on the grid, let alone holding its own for a top 10 finish. And it was looking like this fight would go to the line. Well, it sort of did, but once the 40 car of Chris Yates was caught, the pack seemed to split. The winners of that split were Sam Archer, Simon Turner and Robert Dawson. And that fight went on, and on, and on, all the way to the line. Initially, I thought Sam was comfortable. He seemed to be placing himself in a good position, letting Simon do all the lead work, and waiting to make his move on the final lap. Cue Robert Dawson. He qualified 7th, but suffered from a terrible start and was dead last by turn 1. He put in an incredible drive and came back lap by lap. I think the black must make the car invisible because it seemed that Simon and Sam had no idea he was there. Not until it was too late, at least. What P8 for Dawson was a heroic comeback drive. It must be said that Sam Archer in his first ever race did a fantastic job. Having the pace is one thing, but to come out of the box as green as you can and go toe-to-toe with the drivers that have been there for years and do it cleanly and confidently is an achievement all on its own. And so the midfield fight was all there. Chris Yates found himself in a fight with Ethan Sparrow for 6th early on, but a coming together pulled him out of contention for the fight at the front. And in the end, Yates' car succumbed to its injuries and was swallowed up by the mid-pack fight. Whilst the Walfords car of Julie Walford and the SCA car of Ethan Sparrow took the spots in the gap between the leaders and the midfield. So what is the price of winning? Is it sleep? Friendship? Sanity? A gearbox? What do you need? And what can you do without?
All of the above. It's all of the above to put a car together that can win and be consistently quick. You've got to give it everything. And people laugh, it's only a mucky old 2CV, but you've got to give it everything.
And for those that are willing to commit, to cover all of the above, what happens when it goes wrong? When you've done everything you can, but it just falls apart?
Tears. Lots of tears. And then you put it right again, and you move on.
All well and good, but for some, things going wrong isn't something you think about. For some, it's win, at all costs. The fight just went on, and with 4 minutes remaining, it was still a 5-horse race, and anyone could have made it. However, in the end, the fight for the win came down to Chris Tovey and Brian Heary, with the last spots on the podium becoming heated between Nick Crispin, Andrew Ball and Sebastian Jones-White. Tovey was setting a good pace, and Brian obviously knew sitting right behind him for now was the best thing he could do. Show a nose, keep applying pressure, and wait for that moment. Gloves were off, and from the looks of things, Seb was determined to make sure that second Tech Rouge car of Andrew Bull couldn't get into a good position to pass either himself or Crispin. Was it unfair? I'm not sure it was even purposeful. From Andrew Bull's on board, it looked clearly like Seb moved under braking. From Seb's on board, it didn't look like anything. Seb rubbed his hands together with a bit of breathing room for the final lap, all whilst leaving Bull with a sour taste in his mouth. If I had to put money on it, 100% I'd have backed Tovey. But remember what I said about Brian and Andrew in Tech Rouge? Well, here comes a masterclass of positioning by Brian Heary, whilst the guys behind do nothing but squabble.
Over the line they go. This will be the start of their final lap.
Rehearsals that have been going on in this league group. We're going to see.
Now, it's a bit like Caterham racing. You've got to know exactly where to position yourself to make your finishing move, as it were, and be in the right place. It's going to be interesting into club for the last time, to say the least. There's Ethan Sparrow in 6th, ahead of Julie Walford. Now, is Chris Tovey biding his time? These two have pulled slightly clear of their opposition. They were a second clear at the line of Nick Crispin. Here's the second group, Turner, Dawson and Archer together.
Village into the link before they get to the Hanger Straight. Heary and Tovey would seem.
Side by side there, the 81, Simon Turner for Tech Rouge and Rob Dawson for Podium Motorworks. The leaders will be making their way down towards Stowe. Who is it going to be? Will it be Heary? Will it be Tovey? Here they come into Stowe Corner. Brian Heary has the advantage on the inside, the green and blue number 92 car. Nick Crispin is waiting in the wings. He's closed back up again slightly, if anything. Andrew Bull's dropped back a bit, so it's between 4 for the win as they come down towards Club for the last time in our first race of the season for the Classic 2CV Racing Championship. Chris Tovey goes to the outside. He's going to try and position himself on the inside for the longer right-hander into the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Can he get up on the inside of Brian Heary? I don't think he's quite going to do it. Here they come towards the checkered flag. Our first 2CV race of the season. A fantastically close run affair is won by Brian Heary in the 92 car, ahead of Tovey, Crispin and Jones White as quickly as that. And Andy Bull takes 5th position. 0.83 of a second covered the top 4 at the line. So Brian Heary, our first winner of the season, and these 3 still at it. 6th will go to Ethan Sparrow ahead of Julie Walford just ahead of them. Dawson and Turner still side by side. And who's going to be 8th? Turner's going to try and go around the outside. Archer's there on the inside of the 79. It's going to be Dawson who gets their break.
You know, I've said it time and time again. Brian Heary is fast, and he's here to show it. With him and Tete Rouge taking the first victory of the season, he's really making his mark, and it's on to the next round. Chris Tovey putting on a fantastic stint in a car that doesn't even belong to him. And of course, Nick Crispin, despite a mistake halfway through the race and almost spinning off, took the 3rd step of the podium.
Welcome down to Park Fermé. We're just trying to dodge in and out of the 2CVs there. Let's go back. We've got Chris here. Chris, I'll tell you something, they're not the quickest machines, but the racing's pretty close, isn't it?
That was a really close race. That was a hard-fought race. You wouldn't believe that a track as wide as Silverstone, a 2CV can block the entire track.
I think it was 0.4, just over 0.4 separating the top 3. That's fantastic, isn't it?
In the entire, over the race?
Yeah, over the line.
It's just fantastic racing all the time. It always delivers.
Congratulations, Chris. P2 in this race. What can you do different for the next one?
Well, I'm handing the car over to the actual owner.
Oh, okay. So you're done then.
I'm a standing driver.
Well, you can spray the champagne now.
I can indeed. I can go and have a beer. That's right. Actually, no, I can't. I've got to drive home. Bugger.
Yeah, no, definitely can't. Chris, thank you so much. Nick, just before you disappear, you've got to do all the media duties to finish on the podium. But a close race, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I was just saying, there aren't many series where you can see the first 3 within hundredths of a second, first 5 within a second. And to provide entertainment like that. Yeah. I mean, yes, I would like to have done better. Yes, I had a terrible moment. But, do you know what? I'll take that. First run out of the season, good to get it under the belt.
You've got to go again a little bit later, though. So are you saying that we're going to swap this hat for a first place one later?
It would be nice. Obviously, Seb is very quick. Brian has done a tremendous job. It must be all the years on him that gives him the knowledge of this track, I don't know. But, yeah, we'll try and go a couple of places better next time. But, to be fair, at the end of the season, reliability and good points pays dividends.
At the end of the day, look,
you don't get anything for winning all the races, do you, Chris?
Yeah, maybe we should make that something new. Look, nobody loses taking one of these out, do they, around Silverstone? So.
No, I mean, we love it.
So, with a busy and energetic season opener done and dusted, it was all eyes on race 2. Though the drama from qualifying 1 seems to have transferred to qualifying 2. Not so much on track, but off. After Sebastian Jones-White lost his wing due to colliding with the race 1 winner Brian Heary, it wasn't possible for him to collect his wing, repair it, and refit it in the 5-minute gap between qualifying sessions. So without a second thought, Seb went out with teammate Robert Dawson in the second session to make a statement. One that was well and truly made by putting it on top in pole position. One other team was not so happy with this and posed the question, is that legal? The word from the steward's office was that running without a front wing was an aerodynamic advantage. Whether this is the exact question raised is unknown. The problem was that running without a front wing is probably the complete opposite of an aerodynamic advantage. Other than car being lighter, the drag caused by the wheel being exposed and the air being caught by the bonnet would have been massive. Immediately after qualifying, Seb was disqualified from the results. A discussion was had, and after lodging a dispute and making several trips to the stewards, it was overturned, but only on the basis that all other checks on the car were passed. The car was weighed, the ride height was checked, the car was gone over with a fine-toothed comb, and eventually, pole position was awarded back to the 13 car.
Shared by two drivers, as we heard earlier. So this time it's Sebastian Jones-White, number 13, who moves up into pole position alongside race 1 winner Brian Heary in the number 92. Second row, we will see 89 Nick Crispin and number 20 Robert Dawson. Good qualifying effort from him. Row 3, Andrew Bull, 76, alongside Ethan Sparrow in the 46. The 33 car, that was Matthew Arrowsmith-Brown earlier on. Glenn Oswin is driving that car this time. He starts alongside Steve Walford, who takes over the 55 car from his wife Julie. Row 5, 81 Simon Turner and number 40 Chris Yates, who dropped out with a bit of damage in the first race. They complete the top 10 on the grid. Row 6 is 79 Sam Archer and the 42 of Martin Sunderland. Row 7, 72 will this time be crewed by Richard Hollis, taking over from Matthew. Alongside him, the 48 car. Chris Tovey drove that earlier on, and this time around it will be Lawrence Broadhurst, the car's owner, at the wheel. On the 8th row, we will see 44 John Widowson and 67 Colin Etchells, and 41 Martin Ryman has hopefully cured his gremlins from earlier on. The ex-Fiat Racing champion will start from the back.
With the quicksand, can Brian Heary make it a double win at Silverstone? Will Nick Crispin swap the third place hat for a nice shiny number 1? It's all to play for in race 2.
There were a number of drivers looking to move forward after the first race. And of course, the only way to do that is to buckle up and cross the line. From the back of the grid to the front, everyone has a target. But who has their finger most firmly on the trigger?
602cc two-cylinder engines, and away they go. Now, are we going to have another slipstreaming classic one? Nick Crispin's not hanging about from the second row, moves across on Rob Dawson. He's going to try and take the lead on the run down towards Abbey for the first time, and he's done it. Nick Crispin from the second row into the lead ahead of Brian Heary. Rob Dawson's gone down into third place, and Seb Jones-White was rather caught napping there at the start. Here we go up towards Village for the first time. Seb Jones-White watching on the left of the picture, going for the inside, trying to recoup that lost ground. He's recouped some of it. Andy Bull is in there. Challenge for the lead from Brian Heary in the 92. So I think Seb Jones-White is back up into fourth position. Ethan Sparrow in that battle as well, and Glenn Oswin. Leaders go out wide through Chapel onto the Hanger Straight. It's Nick Crispin, number 89, who has the lead. The man from Harrogate in Yorkshire, chased by Brian Heary. He's from Bolton, so it's Lancashire against Yorkshire for the lead. Richard Hollis doing a bit of ploughing further back. Steve Walford has had a moment, I think, somewhere. He's at the back of the field, the red number 55 car. Brian Heary on the tail of Crispin. It's Dawson third, then Bull, Jones-White and Ethan Sparrow. 4 wide, look at this back in the pack there. Simon Turner gets through there in the lead ahead of Hollis in the 72. Richard Hollis this time. Martin Ryman's car seems to be up to full speed this time as well in the pack there. It's Crispin from Heary as they go into club. Andrew Bull is through into third place ahead of Jones White. Ethan Sparrow up to fifth. Rob Dawson's been shuffled down to sixth place. And there's Lawrence Broadhurst in the car Chris Tovey raced earlier on, the 48. No disrespect at all to Lawrence. Chris Tovey, the quicker of those two drivers, the former champion.
Initially, it looked like it was going to be the same old faces at the front. And it was the same old faces. That five-way battle that we had in race 1, we expected, minus Chris Tovey making a four-way fight. But that four-way fight very quickly turned into a six-way fight. And if Glenn Oswin could have got a little bit better of a first couple laps, he would have been right on the back of that pack as well, making it a seven-way fight. Just imagine if Chris Tovey was involved as well. You'd have 8 cars fighting at the front for that first place trophy. Despite there being 6 contenders, they put on a massive show. And with Ethan Sparrow and Robert Dawson now involved, things were about to get really exciting.
Seb Jones White in there as well. He could get up into second here. Up inside again. Down to fourth. Then Sparrow and Dawson. The right-hander at Chapel, they go again. Well, I said Andy Bull always runs wide there. He did that this time, but with Seb Jones White on the outside of him.
If you're lost and you're feeling low, all stressed out with no place to go, you need something to ease your troubled mind. Social media and sleepless nights, final call for the deadline flight. All you want is to leave it all behind.
Andy Bull having some handling issues, down to fourth.
In the meantime, the battle for 7th between Oswin, Turner, Hollis and Yates was absolutely incredible. Oswin holding on tooth and nail for that P7 spot. He certainly had the pace initially to stick with the leaders, but a couple of mistakes pulled him out of that tow, and, well, we know how expensive losing that tow can be. But can he hold off that third Tete Rouge car of Simon Turner, all whilst Hollis and Yates are nipping at his heels?
They start their last lap this time. Crispin still leads just. Very tight turning there by seconds, but 5 of them was on top of one another. Goodness me. How did they all get round there? Ethan Sparrow has to go wide.
But while Glenn Oswin and Simon Turner battle for P7, the fight at the front was becoming a little bit feisty. All whilst Ethan Sparrow and Robert Dawson sit in waiting. Whilst Seb has decided aggression is the way forward into the final lap, Sparrow and Dawson have used their brain and have now put themselves in prime position, along with Andrew Bull, to make the best of this final lap.
Side by side, they're almost touching wheels. They are touching wheels. Terrific stuff. Bull's going for the inside line again. If he keeps it there, they're going to be 3 wide into Village again. Oh, don't look now. Brian here, he's caught in the traffic in the middle. Nick Crispin's moved across him, and Bull's going to take the lead back again. Where did he come from there? Sparrow's gone through in a second. Oh, Nick Crispin's been tagged by Brian Heary. There's more contact. Here he goes off. Jones White goes off. It was a crisis for the crisis car there, nearly. They've managed to gather it up again. Now, what order are they in now? Bull leads. Sparrow second. Robbie Dawson could get onto the podium here in the number 20. We're on the last lap now, heading down towards Stowe in this brilliant second race for the classic 2CV Racing Championship. Now, Ethan Sparrow can sense victory here. Bob Dawson can sense a podium. He can catch Nick Crispin. It's all going to be at club corner. The two of them absolutely together. I couldn't even see the leading car there. They were so close together. There it is, Andy Bull, as they come down into club. What can Ethan Sparrow do on the final corner. Is the Sparrow name going to get back on top in 2CV Racing? Here they come, out of club for the final time. I don't think Ethan Sparrow is going to do it. What a cracking race that was. There's the checkered flag. Andy Bull wins it in the 76. He's elated. Sparrow second, then Crispin, Dawson, Jones White, and Brian Heary sixth. Wow.
Andrew Bull took the win, crossing the line in P5 just one lap earlier to come across and take victory, and a double win for Tête Rouge. Ethan Sparrow followed him across the line for his first ever podium, and what a deserved drive it was. Nick Crispin managed to best Robert Dawson in the end, but once again, driving with your brain seems to have come out on top for Robert Dawson, with his teammate languishing in 5th, and Brian Heary crossing the line in just 6th place after leading across the line a lap earlier. And you know, you can be aggressive and you can mess around, but if they're not careful, Tête Rouge will walk away with this championship, and it's drives like this from Brian Heary and Andrew Bull that are going to do it for you.
Second place for him, superb. So where's Ethan? Ethan, go over. Another man who looks very happy indeed. Another grandstand finish with these 2CVs. What does that mean for you?
Oh, that's amazing. That's my first podium ever.
Oh, wow.
And
brilliant.
yeah, I just want to say hello to my nan and granddad. I know they were watching from home. My granddad's got leukemia and he couldn't make it, but I'm just happy he's watching. So.
That one's for you, Grandad.
Yeah, that's one's for you, Grandad.
Who are all these people over here? Are they?
This is my nan.
Nan, you proud?
Oh, so proud. So proud. Mum is doing.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, that was really good. That was really hard fought.
It really was. It's so close, these 2CVs. They might not be the quickest, but my word, the racing's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, they are really good. They are so good. There's nothing in between us all, and it's just like you just do not know what's going to happen from one lap to the next. But
well done. Look, I can see you want to crack on and party at the Sparrows later. Well done. Here he is. Yes. One of the best reactions I've ever seen coming out of a car. What does that mean to you?
That was a good old fight up there. It was so close. You could have been anybody on the last lap. I was in the right place at the right time, going over the start finish line in 3rd with the two of them just separating the air for me in front. And they had it coming together in the top, so pressure was off a little bit at the end of the straight. So that's where we really suffer with the slipstream. You get mugged into the last corners. So
how did it feel when you took that checkered flag?
Well, I've got a countdown clock in the car, and I'm thinking 3 minutes, right, 1.5, maybe 2 laps to go, and that's this is it. And then it all kicked off a bit, and I was just so relieved. So dead chuffed.
Well done, mate. That's a superb reaction. Well deserved. Fantastic stuff.
It's been said before, in 2CVs, no one is a loser. But at Silverstone, Tête Rouge were unstoppable.